Somewhere in a dusty box or a forgotten cloud drive, there is a photo of you. You are small, maybe 2 years old. You are laughing at a bubble, or perhaps crying over a dropped cracker. Look at that child. You recognize the nose, the shape of the eyes. But here's the haunting truth. You have no idea who that person is. You were there. You felt the sun on your skin. You heard your mother's voice. You tasted the salt of your own tears. You lived an entire lifetime before the age of 3, thousands of days of discovery and wonder. And then it was deleted. All of it. Every first word, every first step, every foundational moment of your existence has been scrubbed from your conscious mind. Most people think this is just a hardware issue, that the hard drive of a baby's brain is not plugged in yet. But that is a lie. Your brain was not failing to record. It was recording everything. The truth is far more unsettling. Your memories were not lost. They were murdered. In 1905, Sigmund Freud gave this void a name: infantile amnesia. For over a century, we assumed babies simply did not have the software to save files. But in the 1980s, psychologist Carolyn Rovi Collier proved us wrong with a piece of ribbon. Collier tied a ribbon from a baby's ankle to a mobile. The baby kicks, the mobile moves. They love it. It is a dopamine hit. When she brought them back days later, even 2-month-olds started kicking immediately. They remembered. They were not blank slates. They were learning, storing, and recalling. So why, when you sit here today, can you not reach back and grab even a flicker of that time? The traditional answer lies here, the hippocampus. Think of it as the librarian of your brain. Its job is to take the raw footage of your life and file it away into the archives of the prefrontal cortex. In a baby, the librarian is still in training. The connections, the literal physical bridges between where memories are made and where they are stored, are not fully built until you are nearly 4. But if it was just a matter of bad wiring, we might expect to see some fragments survive. Instead, we see a total blackout. In 2014, neuroscientists Sheena Jocelyn and Paul Franklin discovered that your brain's greatest strength is also its greatest eraser. It is called neurogenesis. In the first years of life, your hippocampus is a construction site on steroids. It's pumping out new neurons at a rate you will never experience again. You would think more brain cells would mean more memory, right? Wrong? Every time a new neuron forces its way into an existing circuit, it disrupts the connections that were already there. To build the sophisticated brain you have now, your body had to tear down the scaffolding of who you were. Your earliest memories were not forgotten. They were overwritten by the very process of you becoming smart. But there is a psychological barrier too. To have a memory of you doing something, there has to be a you to begin with. This is the mirror test. Before 18 months, you do not realize that the person in the mirror is you. You think it is a playmate. Without a self, there is no narrator. Your life is just a series of disconnected sensations, warmth, hunger, light, with no I to tie them together into a story. And then there is language. Psychologist Catherine Nelson argued that language is the container for memory. Without words like yesterday, because, or with, your experiences are like water poured onto a flat table. They spread out, then evaporate. This is why culture matters. In Maori culture, where oral storytelling is central, people often remember back to age 2.5. In some East Asian cultures, where the focus is more on the collective than the individual, first memories often start much later, around age 4. But let us go deeper. If your brain physically rewired itself, if the neurons that held the you of age 2 were literally destroyed and replaced, does that mean the child in that photo is actually you? There is a philosophical thought experiment known as the ship of Theseus. If you replace every plank of a wooden ship one by one, is it still the same ship? Biology says no. In those first 3 years, you did not just grow. You underwent a metamorphosis as radical as a caterpillar turning into a butterfly. A caterpillar's nervous system is almost entirely dissolved in the chrysalis. To become a butterfly, the caterpillar must die. This leads us to a startling historical anecdote. In the 18th century, the philosopher John Locke argued that personal identity consists entirely in the continuity of consciousness. If you cannot remember it, it was not you. This means that for the first few years of your life, your body was inhabited by a ghost person, a conscious, feeling, learning being who saw the world through your eyes, but who was ultimately sacrificed so that the current you could exist. You are the survivor of a forgotten predecessor. We think of memory as a record of the past, but nature treats it as a burden. If we remembered the sheer sensory overload of being an infant, our adult brains might be too cluttered to function. We had to forget to survive. So, next time you look at a baby, do not just see a work in progress. See a person who is living a vivid, intense life that will eventually be completely erased. We are all walking graveyards of our younger selves, but perhaps that is the point. Your brain decided that building the person you are today was more important than keeping the records of who you used to be. You do not remember being a baby because you were too busy becoming you. And maybe some things are so beautiful that they do not need to be remembered to matter. If you found this journey through the static of your own past fascinating, consider subscribing. It helps us keep exploring the weird corners of what it means to be human. Until next time, try to remember, the world is stranger than you realize.